Hey everyone, so today we're going to go over the new Google Calendar. Google Calendar was updated in 2018, so it's considered the new one. Basically, it's just user interface, it's just the design and everything was updated a little bit to make it a little more cleaner to kind of match the rest of Google services. Some of the features did change, but overall, it pretty much just the design of it changed. So this is what when you go into Google Calendar, calendar.google.com, you're going to get either a day, a week, a month, a year, or you could do a schedule or 5 day view. I set mine to week view. Yours might be set to a day view by default. I like having mine as a week view. Again, you can go and choose any of the ones you want. So that would be up in this top right corner over here. Okay. If you were ever on a different date, so say I go forward a couple weeks to like June, I can always click today and it will go back. This little today button that will bring me back to this current week. Okay. And I, just like I said, did just now, you can skip ahead or skip behind with these arrows. This will go forward a week or behind a week. If you change this to a month view, you would obviously be going forward a month or behind a month. Okay. Um, on your left side over here, you kind of have a mini month. So it kind of shows all the days of the month over here, and you can again skip that ahead. So it's like a mini calendar. You also have all your calendars over here on the side. So anything from Google Classroom, anything that you've created will be on the side over here. Okay, and then you have other calendars that you might have been invited to down here. Right. So I just have my instructional technology coaching appointments calendar up. So this is one I made so teachers can request help from me. Um, so we'll kind of be working with this one today. Over here, you'll see a giant create button. You probably wonder what that is. That is going to be how you create a new meeting. So let's just go over this real quick. So if I create a new meeting, I can title this test. Okay. And now it's going to give you the option after you create it to select as an event, an out of office, or appointment slot. For most of your stuff, you'll probably be doing event. You can select as out of office. That means that when someone looks at, if someone like your calendar is shared with anybody, it will show it as blank, so no one can choose those times. Appointment slots, which is what I have over here, is when people can sign up to meet with you. So this is just going to be an event. That'll just be to kind of basically just shows it as there's something there. This is going to be the date, and this is going to be the time. You can again change this. So by clicking on it, you could change it, or if you, this will show it in 15-minute increments. But if you just click and right here, you can change it to any time you want. And again, you can change the date right here, and this would be the ending date. Okay, so beginning date, beginning time, ending date. You can add guests, so if you want to, you can click here and you can, anybody who's in your domain, you can invite to it and they'll get a notification. You can also type an email in there and they'll get it as well. But if it's within your domain, so for example, we're in the RAM domain, anybody who has a RAM email, I can type in their name and it will show up there. You can add a Google Meet video conferencing from here. So if you click here, it will give you the Meet code that you can share with people. And if you click the down arrow, you can also add a live stream and everything like that. I have a different video that shows how to do that. I'm not going to make a Meet with this one. You can add a room or location. Now, we don't use room or locations on our domain, but if your domain does, you can do that. And you can add a description for yourself. If you want to change it to a different calendar, you can click right here. Again, this is my instructional technology coaching appointment calendar. A lot of you will just have like your main calendar, maybe a few other ones, so you can just make sure you add it to your main one if that's the one that you want to use. Okay, and if you go over here to more, now if you click save, it will save it right here from 9:30 to 10:30. And if I go to more options, it's going to give me the option to do a few different things with it. Now, a lot of these you probably won't use, but you do have the option. So again, you can choose to repeat the event. So if it's something that's going to happen every week, you can have it repeat, and you can choose whether when you want it to repeat or not. You can also do a custom. You can also make this an all-day event. So this is going to be an all-day event. It'll just be on your calendar for the whole day. You can again add a location. So if you're sharing this with someone or just for your sake, you can add a location here, and you can also add a notification. So it'll send you a notification or an email. So if you're in a notification, if you're in your browser and you have your Google Calendar open, it will send you a notification. There'll be a little pop-up. And if you don't have Google Calendar open, you can select email, and it'll just email you, and you can choose the time before that you want that. Okay. This is just if you want it to be as a busy or free time. This is busy by default because that's what it is. And then you can choose public or private. That'll be based on your settings, which we'll get to in a second. Again, here's a description. And you can do a find a time. So if you're inviting someone, it'll search their calendar for a common time. Okay. So I'm not going to save that event. Oops, discard. Okay. Let me just see if there's anything I was missing. I think that's it for this. So that's how making an event works, and you can make them for as many or as little as you want. Now, if I go over here to my settings, basically this is just going to be a quick overview of how these work. There's a lot of settings in here, so I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll just go through the ones that you want. Now, you don't have to click on the side. You can just kind of scroll down to this main menu here, and it will switch to them. So again, here's your location and your date and time. So this is just a sample. You probably don't change that because it should just sync automatically with your domain. You can set the event notifications, so by default they'll all be 60. So when you create a new one, they'll all be 60, and then you'll have to change it if they're not, but you can change this to a default time if you want. Speedy meetings basically just says it ends 30-minute meetings 5 minutes earlier and longer meetings 10 minutes earlier. So in your calendar, it'll just kind of condense the times for you. Over here, default guest permissions. Don't worry about really anything like this. It's kind of self-explanatory. You can go through that on your own. If you have Google Calendar open on your desktop, it will send you a sound when the notification pops up so you know. Here's some other options for you. If someone invites you via an email that looks like a date, it will automatically add this to your calendar. Okay. It has your working hours. So you can enable working hours or not enable working hours. So I did like a sample one here. So that means people will know when you're available or not. Okay, and then you can add your main work place. Okay, so these are all these right here. Now you can also click on individual calendars on the side. So I'm just going to click on my one that we were just on before, and I can update this as I need. So for example, this has a description, so when people find the calendar, they'll find this. You can export it if you want, automatically add the invitations to this calendar. So if someone invites you to a time using this calendar, you can automatically add it. You don't have to accept or decline. Now I made this available for people within Region 8 so they can see, and they can only see my free and busy times. They won't be able to see individual events, so that's important. Now, if you want, you can make it public. I suggest you don't unless it's going to be a public calendar, but you could make it public. You can also change it to say sees all event details. So if you have this checked, that means they'll be able to see the event title and anything that's within it. So if you only want people to see when you're free or busy, I would make sure this is checked only. This is probably your best bet by default. Okay, you can invite people to share and edit your calendar. And again, here's event notification, so you can add a notification on how things will work. So if you want a notification 10 minutes before, you can change it to a notification or an email notification. You can also make an all-day notification up, and then it has other notifications on what you would get. So new events, you would get an email or a pop-up notification. Changed events, canceled events, event responses, and daily agenda. Now I turned all mine to off because I have this calendar open a lot. So I check it regularly, but if you don't check it regularly and you want Google to send you a notification, you can enable something here. And these are just sharing links if you want to make the calendar public. And again, later on, if you want to remove or unsubscribe, you can unsubscribe from this calendar, or you can delete it permanently if you are done with it in the future. Now, don't do that if it's your main calendar, but if it's like another calendar that you're only using temporarily, you can delete it. Okay. So this is a quick overview. Again, now all of these settings I just went through really quickly with you, these are all calendar specific, so you can change these so they're different for each calendar. So for example, if you want your main calendar to have certain notifications, but you want a secondary calendar to have different notifications, you can do that. Okay. And over here on the side, you can hide or show different calendars based by clicking a little eye. Okay. You can also add a calendar or import or export on the side over here. So that's just a really quick overview of the settings. Again, what most of you are going to be concerned with is just creating an event and putting that in your calendar, sharing that with someone. Actually, I think there was one thing I was missing. When you create a new event, you can actually, under more options, over here under the description, you can actually add an attachment, and that attachment can be from your Google Drive. Okay, so you can actually add a Google Doc or a picture or anything if you want. So if you're doing a meeting with someone and you're working on a collaborative document, you can add that using this button. Okay, you can also find that button if you click description here. You can also, now you can't add the paperclip. You don't have the paperclip to add it from your drive, but you could add a link to it from here as well. So if you do want to add a document, you would have to go into more options. Okay, so that's a quick overview of Google Calendar. I hope that helps, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.